The following information is for illustration purposes only. When installing an Easy Charger, always refer to the installer guide or the installer app and the local requirements for each specific installation. Start by opening the cardboard box and removing the charger from the packaging. Locate and remove the cover tool from the backside of the charger's backplate. The tool should be handed over to the customer afterwards for safekeeping and possible use in the future. Bend down the lower part of the rubber cover and insert the two ends of the supplied tool into the two openings at the bottom of the front cover. Pull the tool until the front cover comes loose and remove the cover. To remove the ChargeBerry, press the unit firmly up until you hear a click. Remove the ChargeBerry and installation kit from the backplate. Fix the backplate to a solid, non-perforated wall or structure with sufficient load-bearing capacity using the 4 wall screws provided in the installation kit. Before you continue with the installation, please make sure the circuit power is turned off. First, shorten the sealing plug to fit the cable. The hole should be slightly smaller to ensure a good seal. Strip each wire, exposing 12 millimeters of copper on each. Fit each wire with a sleeve cap. Insert the cable through one of the 4 cable entries. Once the cable is in place, secure it to the backplate with the strain relief provided. Close all cable entries that are not in use with the blind sealing plugs included in the installation kit. When connecting Easy Chargers in parallel, all backplates must be connected with the same phase sequence. Insert the wires into the terminals in the correct order, depending on the power grid type for the specific installation and the local requirements. Tighten the wire in the screw terminal with a torque of 5 Newton meters. Release cable tension by pulling on each wire and visually inspecting each terminal. The wires must not cross over the screw terminals. This will prevent the ChargeBerry from sitting in the slots. Testing must be conducted in accordance with applicable local, regional, and national regulations for electrical systems. All Easy Chargers have an internal RCD, providing individual protection for each connection point. Once the backplates have been fully wired and tested, turn the circuit power on. Utilize the installer app to configure the chargers, either by transferring data to the backplate's near-field communication tag or via Bluetooth. When using the NFC method, tap the phone against the tag located on each backplate. This method is recommended when installing larger charging sites. Then, position the ChargeBerry into the slots on the backplate and press it firmly down until you hear a click. When using Bluetooth, the ChargeBerry needs to be attached to the backplate before the data can be wirelessly transferred to the charger. This method is recommended when installing smaller charging sites, as the phone needs to connect to each unit. Remember to remove the PIN code sticker and place it inside the fuse cabinet, or give it to the customer for safekeeping. Attach the front cover at the top of the backplate and let it fall into place. Press the bottom of the front cover until you hear a click. Bend the lower part of the rubber cover down. Screw in the locking screw at the bottom of the charger to secure the front cover. If the cable is installed from the bottom, you can cut a corresponding hole in the rubber cover to ensure a neat installation. And that's it! The charger is now configured and the circuit is complete. The ownership of the new charging site can be transferred to the customer via the installer app. And please remember, this information is for illustration purposes only. When installing an Easy Charger, always refer to the installer guide or the installer app and the local requirements for each specific installation.